Welcome to the total body TRX routine. We'll start with a warm-up. Strap is at mid-length facing the anchor. First exercise is going to be a wall slide that works the back and the shoulders. Start with your hands over elbows and shoulders, and then push up overhead, squeezing triceps and shoulders tight. Core as well, I like to exhale up overhead, and then inhale, pull down. Also, it could be either way, depending on which one you want to work. Pulling those elbows down works that back squeeze there. Just try and remain tall. A little bit of tension in that strap. If you don't keep that, then it'll feel weird. Next one's going to be a hinge. Still mid-length facing the anchor. This is the focus of glutes and hamstrings. I always say shoulders pulled back, tall, under the armpits tight, so the lats are tight there, and then knees slightly bent. Push hips back. And then glutes tight, core tight at the bottom. Exhale, rolling up, kind of like a reverse sit-up. My cue here is to push the car door close with your butt. That mainly focuses on that loading of that hip extension, and then pushing forward is where you're getting that hip to extend. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push forward. Next one's going to be fully long. Strap facing away from the anchor, and it's going to be a lunge and a rotation. Start with those hands just in front of those shoulders, step forward, rotate over that knee, and then coming back up. Push through. So you're getting a little bit of a side crunch there with that rotation, working the core. Force into the heel as you lower and rotate to keep that glute tense there for your balance. And then pushing through the toes to kind of forward lunge backwards, I guess, to technically, and work that quad. And as you get more comfortable with these, you can make them move a little bit faster. I generally like to go a little bit faster, get that heart rate up for your warm-up, and then we can always go slower at the end of the workout to get a stretch on those lats. And once you complete all of your reps, you're ready to move on to your upper body routine. Starting for upper body is going to be strap fully short. You're going to assume an underhand grip in a reverse plank position. Those feet kind of close to that yellow anchor, facing the anchor. And pull from those elbows. I like an underhand grip for this underhand row. Could be neutral or overhand too if you wanted to. The underhand puts a little more stress on those biceps. Focuses on back and biceps here, pulling from those elbows. Inhale long, exhale pull. I like a nice wide stance, getting those glutes in there. Hips aligned with spine. Next one is going to be at mid-length. I call this one a bicep-tricep alternator. One hand is going to be underhand, the other hand is going to be overhand. And with the underhand, you're going to be curling to hit the bicep. The overhand one's going to push down to the hip for that tricep. A little bit of lat in there as well. I like to think of it as that tricep is helping the bicep. And you can either do all your reps on one side, or you can do one at a time. Focus on squeezing back towards the ear, pushing down to the hip. Next one is going to be strap fully long, facing away from the anchor. I have two variations here. One's going to be a regular press, and one's going to be a press with a little something special at the end of it. So starting with the regular press is just going to be that strap up above the shoulder, elbows down to 90 degrees, and then exhale, extend the elbows, and squeeze the chest to the top. Still a fairly wide stance. Now you're in a regular plank position is what I like to call it. And we're entering the archer zone here, so you're adding a fly onto that press for the little bit harder variation. Still inhale, lower, exhale, press. And once you complete all of your reps, we'll be moving on to the lower body routine. For lower body, you're starting at mid-length facing the anchor, and all 3 exercises will be the same adjustment and position. With loose hands, 1 foot back, you're gonna squat down and come back up. So this is called a split squat. You could have a wider stance, but I usually like to have that knee by that ankle, unless that irritates your knee. Just gives you a little more quad focus and longer leg extension. But it wouldn't be wrong to have that back foot a little farther back. Just gives you a little more hamstring glute in there. So lower down. Still getting hamstring and glute though. Focusing on squeezing those. When you're lowering, inhale up, inhale down, and then exhale up, powering through that quad. Core is tight at the top, standing tall, since you're focusing on that quad. And hands loose, so you will get a total body at the end, and you will use some of that pulling again. Next is going to be a crossover lunge. A couple variations here, starting base level, just regular crossover. I still keep a little bit loose on that leg, just toes when I come back up. Now I'm adding a knee drive. This is level 2. So that helps get a little bit more core, a little bit longer contact with that heel onto the ground is what that knee drive does, and hits that lower core. Now as you can see, I'm balancing out that back foot. This is where I usually hold on to those straps a little more, give a little more pull. A lot more glute and hamstring on this version. Inhale, lower, exhale up with that knee drive, feeling that hip roll up to rib, lower core focus there. Base level crossover on other leg. Staying tall through that movement. Take your time on those balance ones. Really load up and lower on that hamstring and glute, and then fire through that heel, coming tall. Next one's going to be a fighter squat. Just like you did in the hinge with the positioning, except for now you're starting into the knee bend and sitting back into your heels. Hands come up to underhand grip and protect at the bottom, and then pushing through. So you do get a little bit of lat in this by helping yourself push through to come up. Your variation is going to be the jump on there if you want a little bit more, which I recommend for runners, people who do a lot of impact. And we're going to be going into your total body routine. So mid-length facing the yellow anchor, and squat and pull. So you got like a regular row position. Squat is the first part of that, and then pulling to finish it off. Kind of like you're pulling yourself out of the squat. Inhale, lower, exhale, pull, and squat up. And this one is going to be kind of a hinge and up overhead into a Y position, overhead back extension. Still same strap adjustment and positioning. Really focus on that hip extension, just kind of like a kettlebell swing. All in the hips. Inhale, hips push back to load. Exhale, flying up overhead. Giving a little bit of pull at the top. Last but not least is going to be fully long, facing away from the anchor. A couple variations for this one. And starting with Superman, is going to be down in the squat position and elbows bent, and then you're pressing up overhead and squatting at the same time. Inhale lower, exhale long. And then we have a press and a knee drive. This would be your base level. Hope you enjoyed the video. See the description for sets and reps and how to modify for your workout. Thanks for watching.